Really quickly. So we're going to talk about diesels today. And I've kind of primed Conrad to give us a 60-second, I've got the stopwatch here, lesson in what
I was warned to be brief.
What makes a diesel?
You are on the clock.
All right. So a diesel is compression ignition engine.
As opposed to
a gasoline engine, which is spark ignition. So they have a spark plug and a distributor. They don't need any of that with a diesel. With a diesel, it's compression ignition. They run much higher compression ratios in a diesel, 18, 20, 25 to 1 compression ratio. And as the injector sprays, that compression will explode the fuel and push the piston down, as opposed to in a gasoline engine, they fill the combustion chamber up with fuel and air, and then the spark plug ignites. Not with a diesel. It's all purely based on the timing of when the injector sprays and when the compression happens. And that's why diesels create so much more power, is because the way the fuel is burned in it, as well as the size of the engine, they're very well known for producing lots and lots of torque.
Yeah. And they're very reliable, generally speaking.
Lower RPM than
Much
a gas
lower,
engine.
yeah.
So, there's lots of differences between them, but there's a lot of similarities. I mean, ultimately, you take a diesel engine apart, and once you take the intake manifold off, it looks like a gasoline engine to a large degree.
Except it doesn't have spark plug holes in the head.
True, but it does have glow plug holes, and those just kind of help you start it when it's cold out.
That's all it's for?
Yeah.
Do the glow plugs actually come on if it's not cold outside?
They may come on for a couple of seconds, because what it wants to do is make sure that the fuel that's going into the engine, into the cylinder, is vaporized. So the glow plug just helps heat that up. So
well, one of the things that really has been, to me, a detriment to diesel engines is, one, they smell bad. And two, is that they typically are noisy. I mean, clackety-clack. But today's diesel engines aren't noisy, and they don't smell bad, because they've fixed all that.
Oh, yeah.
And now what you've got is a lot of torque. Matter of fact, this week I'm driving a Ford F-250 diesel. Oh, my God. Matter of fact, somebody said to me, "Are you in a hurry?" Really? I mean, you mash the throttle on this thing, and it's awesome. I mean, it's got tons of power. And with that 6-speed, 8-speed, whatever the transmission it's got in it, man, that thing will get up and go. I mean, it's impressive. And because I go back to the day when diesels were pretty much relegated to fire trucks, delivery trucks, 18-wheelers and stuff like that. It's a whole new day with diesels.
Well, I think that's part of what Wade does with his club, is there's such a popularity, the diesel engine in today's world. And you were telling us, how many members do you have?
Right over 4,200.
And I think you said most of them are in Houston.
About 99% of them are in Houston.
4,200 diesel members in the club. Golly.
That's just diesel enthusiasts. Think about how many more diesels are out there of people they haven't got to yet.
Exactly. So what do you guys do for fun? I mean, you talk about fuel quality, or I mean, are you in the same kind of thing that I was back in my day with gasoline engines and hopping them up and making them run cleaner, better, faster, all that?
Yes, sir. We a lot of things we do that brings us together is doing things for charity, but for the majority of us, it's either work. They're using them for work, or it's for pleasure, and they're hopping them up and putting twin turbos on them and built transmissions, and they're
for
racing
both
them down
work
the
and
track.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're finding a mixture in there. You could drive down the road and pass a twin turbo truck that's 900 horsepower, and that's his daily tow pig. And you don't know.
900 horsepower.
And it's a daily tow pig. I've never heard that phrase before. I love that. I'm going to use that one. My daily tow pig.
It's good. So,
well, and then you also have, you've got the soccer mom. You got mom that's waiting in line at the middle school to pick up the kids
with the tow pig,
and she's sitting there in an F-250 crew cab waiting to pick up the kids.
Listen, that F-250, I have to tell you, and I know this show's sponsored by Ram Trucks, and they make a beautiful truck. But I'll tell you what, they all have upped the ante to the point where it's jaw dropping. The interior of these trucks now, it's better than any limousine that I've ever been in. It's got all the accoutrement there.
Well, and they've had to do that because that's what the market wants. It's not the old, you got to remember, for me, a pickup truck was basically a hoser. It had vinyl floor mats in it, and you just hosed it out when it got dirty.
Or it
not
was the
anymore,
tow pig.
Or the tow pig, but not anymore today. I mean,
A hoser.
A hoser. That's what I was called.
Okay.
Because you could just hose it out.
Yeah. My mind went in a different direction there, but whatever.
Of course it did. But
Yeah. But
Look at what they're doing with trucks today. Whether what Wade's doing with his crew at the club, or what they're doing up at Lone Star Throwdown. The interior of the truck. People spend so much time inside of them today. They expect a high level interior, and the manufacturers are delivering that.
yeah.
And that's the big thing too. Is
Nice and close.
My truck, it's a Laramie. It has full leather and everything, but I'm afraid to go out in a muddy field and do work sometimes at the deer lease because I don't want to get back in my truck covered in mud.
You need to have a truck just for the deer lease.
Right. But 90% of the time I'm driving down the road and I want to sit in something nice.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take.
So what have you done to the truck? I know that you've got a big thing of graphics all over it. I saw it. I parked next to it out there, and I kind of felt slighted. But what have you done under the hood to make yours different?
There's not much done. I've removed the emission stuff off of it, and that's about it.
Remove the emission stuff. Well, does it still have to meet emission standards like a regular car?
Technically, it's supposed to.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Because the reason I say that is because this 250 that I'm driving now, it does not have a mileage sticker on it. It won't. That doesn't tell you because it.
I don't think it's required to when
Correct.
you go
It's
over
not.
over the over the half-ton size.
Right. So I don't know. I'm checking to see what kind of mileage it's getting. Last I looked, it was like 22 miles per gallon. But I do a lot of freeway driving, and I don't nail it
Yeah,
like
but
you
still,
do.
that's in a 3/4 ton F-250. That's pretty awesome fuel economy.
Dude, that's the Titanic that's sitting out there. I kid you not. That thing is huge. I was faced with trying to park in a parking garage today. It ain't happening.
Oh, yeah.
It's way too big for that. And usually, no matter what I drive, I don't have to use the step-up board, whatever you want to call it, the running board, whatever. I don't have to. This one, I've got to use it to get in it. Otherwise, I'd have to crawl into it, up to it, to get into it. It's pretty amazing.
Well,
So-
and Wade, you said you've done some deletes on the truck, so I'm assuming you've done a DPF delete.
Correct.
What is it? Wait, DPF.
Diesel particulate filter.
Okay, help me here.
So if you go look under that F-250 you're driving right now, you have a DPF filter.
Is it in the exhaust?
Yes.
It's in the exhaust. So it's kind of like a catalytic converter?
It's similar, yes.
Got it.
It's
Very
catching the
similar.
particulate.
Does it have a catalytic converter on it?
No, sir. It has a DPF. And
DPF,
it'll have
okay.
your muffler and everything else on it.
And it may have a DOC, which is a diesel oxygen catalyst. It's another emissions thing. There's generally going to be 3 types of emissions setups on diesels in today's vehicles. They're going to have SCR, which is the DEF fluid, where it sprays the DEF fluid trying to knock the nitrous oxides of nitrogen down. It's going to have a diesel oxide catalyst in it, which is kind of their version of a catalytic converter, again, trying to defeat certain emissions. And then the DPF filter, which is just trying to stop the particulate exhaust in a diesel.
Because most new diesels today, you wouldn't know it was a diesel unless it had diesel written on the side of it because they're so clean. Right. But it wasn't that long ago that if nothing else, you got a big puff of black smoke out the back end of it when you pull away from the stop sign. You don't see that anymore.
And all of those components, those emissions components, have a negative effect on fuel performance.
They do. The way they're designed, it's a poor design of them, basically. But
it's in his mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's guys that spend millions of dollars.
Right. It's poorly designed.
By the factory, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's the government's being involved in all of that.
Exactly.
And they could work more effectively and efficiently if more time was put into them, more education was put out there about the systems and everything like that. And it does hurt the fuel economy and the power and everything like that. And majority of the trucks are in the shops because of the exhaust systems are failing.
Exactly.
And majority of the people don't even know how to service the exhaust system, so they resort to deleting it, which is the same cost, if not less, than it is to fix the emissions.
But don't you have to pass an emissions test at once
Correct.
a year?
Well,
On a diesel, it's a safety inspection only. So
and a visual for emissions.
Correct.
It's not like a gas car where they hook up to the computer.
Gotcha. So you can just hollow out all that stuff.
Well, and it
in
depends
there
on which county you're in. So
Correct.
here
It comes
in
down to
county,
that as well.
You've got to do all that testing. They put the little thing up the tailpipe,
but
and all
not
that.
on diesel.
Well, but over where I am, they don't do it on anything.
Well, over where you are, they're all swamp creatures.
and your point is, but we don't have anybody sticking probes up our tailpipes either.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll tell you what. That's a show that we're going to have right after a commercial break. Is that okay?
Sure.
And you're going to be the guest, and I'm going to be the interviewer, and you're going to tell us all about that, Mr. Mars.
We need to make use of Wade being here, so we need to focus on Wade.
I knew you'd find a way to step
Pass
out
the buck on that one.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Exactly. Wade Julian, our guest in the studio with Houston Diesels. And a reminder that we've got a short show today for the Alabama Crimson Tide of football fame and glory. They'll be taking the airway here at 1:30, and we'll be glad to step aside just for them. Just ahead, we'll also take you into the In Wheel Time New Car Showroom, and I'll show you the 2019 Ford Ranger midsize pickup truck. You know, you can always take our show on the road with you on your smartphone by downloading the station app, ESPN 97.5. In Wheel Time continues after a quick break.
At Jeep Adventure Days, you'll be ready to take on any forecast. As others seek shelter, you'll sprint toward adventure in the remarkably efficient Jeep Cherokee and the luxurious Grand Cherokee, or in a Jeep Compass with over 70 standard and available safety and security features. Or get up close and personal with the elements thanks to the open-air freedom of Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Gladiator. Hurry in to Jeep Adventure Days for great deals on the most legendary SUV lineup. Jeep is a registered trademark.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's hottest new Saturday morning cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos welcomes all specialty cars and trucks from Mile to Wild every third Saturday of the month. Shine it up, turn it on, and head on over to Loopy Tortilla on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland, just 2 minutes south of I-10 and Katy. Fresh Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos, killer coffee, and a fun time together for a fabulous Saturday morning cruise-in, 8 to 11. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland, just south of I-10.
Thanks for joining us for today's In Wheel Time radio car show here on ESPN 97.5. Time now to check out what's in the new car showroom. I had the 2019 Ford Ranger. Okay? I think I may have had a Ranger once before. It's been a while. Really do like the Ford Ranger. Available trim levels, 3 of them, the XL, the XLT, and the Lariat. My trim level, the one that I had, was the Super Crew 4x4 with the 5-foot box in the Lariat trim, loaded up, needless to say. This is a standard pickup truck according to your U.S. government. We like to refer to them as midsize, so it's kind of a mini-me Ford F-150. Passengers, 5. It's all new for 2019. Sharp-looking sheet metal that really does kind of remind you of the Ford F-150, but there's also homologation going on there with the front grille that kind of looks like a Ford Edge. Anyway, it all works really well. Faux skid plate up front and the lower front valance. Ranger stamped big and bold right across the entire back end of the tailgate back there. What I liked about it, really, if you take a side view for it, it is a chopped greenhouse look. Conrad, I'm sure, would chime in, but he's over there on his cell phone like a little girl.
Oh, gosh.
and he can't talk right now. But at any rate, it has that kind of chopped look. You know what I'm saying? Chopped roof look.
A little lowered roof, gun slit side window kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. It really is a sharp-looking truck. What could use improvement? Nothing. Don't touch it. It's good. Interior highlights, modern, smaller interpretation of the F-150 dash. Wide-ranging trim levels and options allow you to go stark or luxurious. I didn't say stark naked. Comfortable seating. It depends, obviously, the trim level that you get, but I didn't find it like a flat surface in there. It was comfortable. Like the Sync 3 infotainment system. Cargo room, like I mentioned, I had the 5-foot bed. You can also get a 6-foot bed. The nice thing about the 5-foot, obviously it's a shorter wheelbase, so it goes around corners a lot easier, and they've got a provision, so you flop down the tailgate, and you can get a 4x8 sheet of plywood back there. So there's that. What I liked about it, there's so many options on this thing, like an F-150. What could use improvement? It needs some more cubbies on the inside, some more storage places in the cabin.
Is there space for it, though?
There is.
Is there?
Just
unutilized?
And I'll tell you why here in just a second. And what also could use improvement, I know this is going to be nothing to most people, but for me, anyway, I had a hard time trying to find the temperature up and down, the cabin temperature up and down, the plus and minus. The minus is dark blue with a black background, and the red is dark red with a black background. You try and find that even in the daylight. Once you get used to it, I'm sure you just know where it is.
Right.
But it was difficult. I thought, they can do a better job there.
Trying to manage your hot flashes, Don?
Well, yes, there is that. And, they coming on rapidly these days. The other thing is that, and I didn't realize this, but I was doing some more research this week, it is basically a 2015 Holden. Not Holden, but the Ford version of Holden.
Ford Australia.
Yes, Ford Australia. There you go. So it's obviously been Americanized and legalized for America, but it's not a completely right off the blueprint new design.
Well, they've kind of proven a lot of things that they're doing in it over in Australia and then brought it here to the States.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it has a 2.3-liter inline 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine, turbocharged. 270 horsepower out of this thing and 310 pound-feet of torque with zero turbo lag. Now, I drove a Volkswagen here a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Bad turbo lag. Volkswagen, go over to Ford and figure out how they're doing
What they're doing.
Yeah, because
the
they do
turbo's
it really
pulled up.
good. 310 pound-feet of torque. 10-speed automatic transmission. Tows 7,500 pounds, hauling up to 1,860 pounds, depending on how you got it configured. 20 miles per gallon city, 24 highway, 22 combined. I got 24 miles per gallon over 419 miles.
That's pretty good.
Real good. What I liked about it, the smooth power with no lag. Ride and handling, a little cushy for me. And this was an off-road package, the 4x4, the FX4. What could use improvement? Again, it was a little wallowy at times. Okay, so base price on this, $38,385. As tested, $45,725. Whew.
I was going to say, that's kind of steps in the full-size truck price range.
Base model price, $24,300. You try getting a full-size pickup truck in today's garage, it ain't going to happen for the most part,
true.
But you can definitely get this one in there. Comparison, size, and price, GMC Canyon 22.2, Toyota Tundra 25,850, and the Jeep Gladiator for 33,545.
Tundra or Tacoma?
I said Tacoma, didn't I?
You said that. No, I was going to say Tacoma.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I wrote Tundra. Yeah, I meant Tacoma.
Yeah.
Yes, Tacoma.
Yeah, the midsize.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to find a whole lot on the dealer's lots at that mid 20,000 price range. Again, goes to what we were talking with Wade about earlier, is people want those amenities inside their car.
I agree. Totally. So that's the review of the 2019 Ford Ranger. You can watch our broadcast on Facebook.com/InWheelTime anytime while we're on the air. Thank you for joining us here today on ESPN 97.5. We got more after this quick break.
In Texas, we know fortune favors the bold and those who live large. Introducing the all-new Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn. With premium leather, real barnwood accents, and the only 12-inch touchscreen media center in a truck. Because even in a state this big, we're always on to something bigger. Ram, built to serve. When properly equipped. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Whether you're in the market for your first new vehicle,
Oh, that one's adorable.
a solid certified pre-owned, or you really want to make the most of your so-called middle-aged crisis, you've got to know where to go to find the car of your dreams. And that's HoustonCarDealers.com. Brought to you by the Houston Auto Dealers Association, HoustonCarDealers.com gives you a complete list of local dealerships. Plus, you can learn about the great things local dealers do for our community, like the Motorist Assistance Program and student technician training. Check it out today, HoustonCarDealers.com.
At Jeep Adventure Days, you'll be ready to take on any forecast. As others seek shelter, you'll sprint toward adventure in the remarkably efficient Jeep Cherokee and the luxurious Grand Cherokee, or in a Jeep Compass with over 70 standard and available safety and security features. Or get up close and personal with the elements thanks to the open-air freedom of Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Gladiator. Hurry in to Jeep Adventure Days for great deals on the most legendary SUV lineup. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Yeah, that's me. Another one bites the dust, baby. Welcome back to the In Wheel Time radio program here on ESPN 97.5. It's the In Wheel Time radio program, and I just found out Mr. Mars down there is playing with the keyboard, and he's got us up on Facebook and YouTube.
We now have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to.
Well, there you go. So, YouTubers, have fun. On the line with us right now, Jonathan Couch. He's with the Klein Forest Car Show. Jonathan, good afternoon to you.
Hey, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm great.
So there's a car show that's going to happen, what, tonight? This afternoon?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep, this evening at 5 p.m.
5 to 8. So it's going to be quick in and out up there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, so tell me about it. First of all, what kind of car show? Is it open to all classes of cars?
It is. Anything you want to bring and show off is welcome.
Could I bring Mom's Buick? Would that be okay?
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, good.
Just pay the fee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much is the entry fee?
It's a $10 entry fee if you want to compete and get one of our 6 awesome in-house made trophies. If you want to just come and hang out with us and do the trunk or treat for the kids, it's free. Our culinary arts program is selling desserts, and I think there were some other little items that some of our other CTE programs are going to sell as well.
Tell me where this is happening.
Where is the campus? On 11,400 Misty Valley Drive.
Well, give me an easy way to get there from here.
Okay, if you're on Beltway 8, you turn north on Bammel North Houston and just go until you see Klein Forest on the left.
Perfect. That's easy. I like that.
And this is a fundraiser for the automotive department, correct?
It is, and the other CTE programs kind of jumped on with us as well, which is good. The automotive program, for the past 3 years running, has done amazing things in competitions, and funding getting there is getting tougher and tougher, as I'm sure you guys have heard. So getting these guys to pay their entry dues and fees is really tough for them, and sometimes some really good, really talented kids don't get to go to competitions because they just can't swing it.
Cool.
So this is to help kind of soften that.
Yeah, we've been trying to promote the show as much as we can on our social media as well, because we really are interested in doing those things that'll help the high school level technical training that goes on. You know, it seems like it in some places it's a bit of a lost skill that so many of the schools are dropping their what used to be called VOTEC or skills training that's going on, and we're real excited to see you guys get so involved and looking to get some community support. So anybody out there, you know, show up tonight and get engaged.
Well, you know, we got 4,000 Houston Diesel Club members listening, so I'm thinking that we could probably get a few coal burners up there to show their trucks, because let's face it, I mean, really, I mean, you've got guys that really are into probably racing, off-roading, showing. I mean, it's a club.
I've seen them down at the beach, and they have got a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So
and
there you go.
Am
I right?
Yes, sir.
And it's a great cause to engage in, too.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I'm sure that the kids would love to see some of those trucks show up.
Jonathan, I'm planning on bringing the Rally 350 out later tonight.
All right, cool.
All right. Well, hey,
I'll look you up when I get there.
It's great to talk to you. The best of luck to you today, 5 to 8 out at Klein High School, and we will be looking forward to getting word who's won those handmade trophies.
Klein Forest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
And
What did I say?
there's going to be a few cameo surprise guests as well. I can't say their name because I didn't ask if I could. But
Elvis is going to be there.
No,
maybe,
I'm going to be there.
There's that. Jonathan, I'll put on my Elvis outfit for you.
Awesome. Yeah, bring it.
You got it. See you later. Thank you.
Awesome.
Good luck.
All right, thanks.
You got a question or comment for us here at In Wheel Time? Shoot us an email, info@inwheeltime.com, or through our Facebook page. In Wheel Time continues after a 60-second break here on ESPN 97.5.
At Jeep Adventure Days, you'll be ready to take on any forecast. As others seek shelter, you'll sprint toward adventure in the remarkably efficient Jeep Cherokee and the luxurious Grand Cherokee, or in a Jeep Compass with over 70 standard and available safety and security features. Or get up close and personal with the elements thanks to the open-air freedom of Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Gladiator. Hurry in to Jeep Adventure Days for great deals on the most legendary SUV lineup. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Racing season is winding down, and you'll want to catch all the action Saturday, October 19th at Houston Motorsports Park. The Texas Short Track Racing Series includes Pro Truck, Pro Modifieds, Outlaw Super Stocks, NASCARs, Eco Stocks, Dwarfs, and Allison Legacies. Never has there been so much racing action on the super fast 3/8 mile asphalt track. Here's a way to get the kids off their phones. Hot dogs, snow cones, and face painting will get them ready for Halloween. Race night at Houston Motorsports Park on North Lake Houston Parkway. Saturday, October 19th, starting at 6 p.m. Buy the whole seat, but you'll only use the edge.
From ESPN 97.5, it's Houston's most popular weekly award-winning car talk show, In Wheel Time. Today's show presented by the Ram 1500, built for a world that demands more. And by Jeep. Hurry in today for great deals during the Jeep Adventure Day sales event. A good Saturday afternoon to you. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars and King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Let's see. What are we going to do? We've got college football all over the place. And tonight, we have Astros baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's that. And then tomorrow, we've got Kansas City football.
So we're just warming everybody up to get ready for the weekend.
That's exactly right. Couldn't find a better way to do that than listening to the In Wheel Time radio program with our in-studio guest today, Wade Julian. And so here is a club that has been under my radar, that I haven't seen, a 4,000 member strong club for diesels. And we were talking earlier, before we went on the air today, about the fact that you've got it's not just trucks, you got cars in there as well. Well, we knew that cars, some, were equipped with diesels, but you said Volkswagen?
Audi,
Mercedes,
BMW?
Yep.
Pretty amazing. That
got any Oldsmobile diesels?
Is there any of those left that aren't boat anchors somewhere?
No.
Did they?
There's actually a girl in our club that has her grandmother's car. That is one.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a Delta 88 or something. I don't remember what they
it's
were
a
in.
four-door blue.
Something.
It hadn't run for years. She just started trying to get it going
She
again.
just tow it behind her to
Was
get
it was an Oldsmobile diesel, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Started in 1979. Was the first year for the Oldsmobile diesel, and I was turning wrenches then. I loved it. Man, I made house payments working on Oldsmobile diesels because that's all you did was worked on them.
Really? Why?
Well,
were they straight sixes?
No. These were V8. It was. Everybody
Lord.
says it was converted from a gas motor. The casting.
That's the way I looked at it.
The casting originated as a gas motor. They had all kinds of problems with them, but I'll tell you, they offered a V6 in '83. Was the first 82 or 83 was the first year for V6. The V6 diesel was an awesome engine. The V8 diesel was a pile of.
Could you still find a V6 Oldsmobile engine today?
Yes.
Where?
There's groups on Facebook that are Oldsmobile diesel. There's an
No!
Oldsmobile diesel
Seriously?
club. I'm a member of it, but I don't know where you would find one. But yeah, they're out there. I had one for a company car in a Cutlass Sierra. I absolutely loved it. I got like 41 miles to a gallon,
Yeah.
and I flogged the critters out of that thing. I mean, it was, I beat it up. But that's the thing about diesel is creates lots of power, lots of torque, and can get, given it's an opportunity, awesome
Now,
fuel
was
economy.
Oldsmobile the only brand that had a GM diesel in an automobile?
No, because in that generation, it was the Oldsmobile diesel, but you could get that in a Cadillac, Eldorado, or Seville.
Oh, my God.
You could get that in the Buicks.
You never, ever, ever see or hear about that.
Well, because
The
they were
reason
all,
for that.
because the motor
Well,
was junk.
I had one for about 6 months.
Yeah, they were.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I bought it from a friend. Hadn't had any problems. In
Some
6
friend.
months, I went. It was Centerville. And in 6 months, injector pumps. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
It went wrong with it, and it went like, oop, goodbye.
But and it was a shared engine across
no
multiple
clue.
GM
I
platforms.
remember the Oldsmobile diesel. I mean, it's like a little speck on my feeble brain, but that's it. I didn't realize that.
You could actually get that 5.7 liter diesel in a Chevrolet pickup truck in 1979.
The same engine.
The same engine. And in 79 Oldsmobile also made a 260 cubic inch version of it that it wouldn't climb over a speed bump if you didn't get a running start.
That was in the gasoline crisis era.
Yep.
And that's why they did it.
Late 70s.
Yeah. That's why they did it.
But I think it's interesting. Wade says they've got one because there aren't many of them running anymore, and a lot of people ended up converting them. You'd pull a diesel out and throw a gas motor in, and the car still ran on. But,
I'm so glad that we had him here
So
just
we
to
don't
sit
talk
and
to
listen
him,
to
right?
the conversation that we're having about this. How about you? I mean, why not? Well, I don't even know why they had us on. Why they had this club on? We don't know. But so we were talking earlier about your truck, and what year is it?
2012.
A 2012 Ram.
Yes, sir.
1500?
2500 mega cab.
2500 mega cab.
Oh, and I love the mega cab because it's an extended version of a 4-door truck. I mean, that thing's like 2 zip codes long, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It doesn't take up a parking space. It takes up its parking space and another half a one. Yeah, that's the way that works. Okay, so we talked about some of the things that you had done underneath the truck. Let's talk about what you do to a 2012. It's a Cummins?
Yes, sir.
So it's a straight 6.
Yes, sir.
It's a straight 6 Cummins. So what do you do to the actual engine itself? We know about the exhaust. We talked about that earlier. You just free it up. So what else can you do to it other than put a bigger turbo on it? Have you done that?
No, sir.
Not yet.
No, sir.
Not yet.
I'm on that stock life.
Are you?
I don't have deep pockets for the big stuff.
Well, why? I mean, turbo's not that expensive, is it?
About
Well,
$4,000 to $5,000.
What?
Oh, yeah. Well, the
Wait.
the
4 or
part might
5.
not be, but getting it put on, and then it's not just a matter of bolting a turbo on; it's
Right.
all the tuning that goes to
Yeah,
it.
you have to have a retune done and everything like
Because
that.
it's
If
still
you're not
go-
buying just a turbo, you would essentially end up buying a second-gen manifold swap is what we'd call it. So you're buying a whole new manifold. You're buying gaskets. You're buying downpipes. You're buying turbos.
You got to make sure you got more
housings,
fuel
everything.
coming in. You got lots of stuff.
Gotcha.
So are we upgrading the turbo just a little bit to get some more power, or are we upgrading the turbo so much that we're going to outrun our injectors? So now we also have to upgrade our injectors to give more fuel, so it's a good balance, et cetera. So it's a fine tuning in there.
Don, you did top fuel cars, so as you create more engine in the power, the next thing breaks.
That's
Correct.
right. So that's the next thing. Once you get all that done, then
Now
you
you
start
gotta-
finding out where your
yeah.
next weak spot
Yeah,
is.
you're going to be doing
So the
axles or
goal
prop shafts or
is
something.
for us that don't have the deep pockets, that we would want to probably stay with the turbo that the thing came with.
So what small mods can you do to create some power without spending huge money?
I mean, really, in a simple delete and tune, or they also have what they call emissions intact tuning. So everything stays on the truck. It's tuned like it's deleted, operates, and functions normal.
Okay.
But you have all the power and the benefits of being deleted. You're on the newer trucks, your 2018, 2019 Rams, you're looking at 550 horsepower to the wheels. And probably
By doing this particular...
just by doing emissions intact tuning. Even deleting it or leaving everything on it, just by the tuning itself, you're looking at 550 horsepower and probably 1,300 foot-pounds of torque.
So what's the gain? What's the gain over the stock?
The fuel mileage.
No, but I mean power-wise.
Oh, I mean stock power's 397.
Wow, so you can almost double the power? And is it a chip that you put in it? You said delete. I mean, you just go in with your computer and go in there and jack with it?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, to a large degree. But it's somebody who really knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to say, if I go in there and delete something,
oh my God,
first,
keep it away from
it
him.
It will not run.
It's an art, basically. They're fine tuning everything. And
so there are guys in town that specialize in this. Or guys within your club that say, "Hey, man, I'll come over and help you out on the Saturday afternoon."
There's people in this world that can do what you need to do.
Oh,
and
it's kind of cloak and dagger kind of stuff.
He knows people.
He knows a guy.
Yeah.
But you have to have a skilled person do it. You know, they really need to know what they're doing because they could seriously screw you up as well.
Well, I can just imagine.
You start going in, working on the tune, and, if you don't understand all aspects of it, all of a sudden there's a parameter.
In other words, they could Don Armstrong it is what you're saying. Yeah.
Call the record. Hey.
That's right. Hey, just go ahead and take it to the junkyard because it's not worth anything anymore.
It's called tennis shoe mode.
But
tennis shoe.
Besides that, you're really not going to get much gains from anything else. I mean, your typical cold air intake and stuff's really not going to do much for you.
So,
not like it would on a gasoline engine.
Right. Yeah, you're going to get more turbo sound out of cold air intake. Maybe you'll get a mile per gallon. Who knows?
Well, we don't care about that, but the sound is part of it. I mean, it's kind of like
having
some
more turbo sound out of it.
I like that. I like that whistle coming from underneath that motor. I'm thinking, oh, well, he's jacked with that. I like that. well, I mean, seriously.
Yeah. It's like you're in a supercharger, a blower going
right,
the belt line. It's just part of it.
Yeah.
When you pull up to a car at a light and all you hear is their fuel pump running, you're fixing to get smoked.
The fuel pump.
Fuel pump's louder than your engine? Yeah. There's something going on.
Well, it's amazing to think of how much power is still available in the engine that the manufacturers know is there, but they don't deliver in the production vehicle.
Well, because they got to make them last, and they got to deliver it not only with all of the emission stuff on it, but they got to make everybody happy.
Right.
It's
Well, the biggest thing they're making happy is the federal government and the EPA.
Yeah, and who cares about them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want to go to the penitentiary?
Yeah.
Right.
Just
and
ask some of those people over there at Volkswagen.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they jacked it all up pretty good.
It's some give and take.
No, not when it comes to that. Not with me. There's no give and take when it comes to that sort of stuff.
That's what Leo, your cellmate, says, right?
That's right. All right. Bruce. So we're going to talk about tires and wheels. Because, I mean, the majority of the people that are in your club are truckers, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, why did you have to think about it? You're trying to.
You said truckers. I'm thinking 18-wheelers.
No, truck owners. So, I mean, you've got show guys, don't you?
Oh, for sure. We have guys all the way that drive your stock basic truck all the way to your $150,000 SEMA build. They've got $10,000 just in rims on their truck.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Custom rims, have it all jacked up and stuff. Yeah, with a big honking diesel in it that's got that whistle to it.
You got to have the roll of meat over every time they get
and let's do a behind the cab roll bar, class done,
triple bar,
whatever you call it, whatever you want to do. I don't care.
Like with Walker Texas Ranger style.
That's right.
Sure, I'll go with that. I was not a big fan of Texas Walker Ranger, but yeah.
Come on,
that hurts.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
that hurts everybody.
Well.
You're going to get Chuck Norris for that.
Yeah, no.
Or something. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Okay, well, we'll talk more about the look at the top of the hour, okay? All right. Wade Julian, Houston Diesels. Time now for our Ram Tracks feature in Will Time's weekly look into the Ram Nation. Kind of fitting.
Speaking of fuel mileage and trying to do things to get fuel mileage, one of the things Ram has got is you hear about a lot of different things for aerodynamics, but they have an active air dam. And to me, this is pretty interesting based on the fact that we used to just scrape them off when we hit a curb. But they have, as a truck, when it approaches 30 miles an hour, this active dam, the air dam in the front, extends down 2.5 inches, and that's where the aerodynamics come in to help reduce the drag. And, of course, if you got the air suspension, it even gets even better, and it'll do more for you. But it'll actually extend down, and then whenever you get back under 30 miles an hour, it comes back up, so you don't scrape it off on the curb like we used to do.
Technology
Or
in
still
today's
do.
cars.
Well, there is that. I wasn't going to mention that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir. Coming up, we got stories making automotive news headlines coming up next, and hopefully a special interview with the director of U.S. Ram Marketing. So stay with us for that. It's all coming up next here on the In Wheel Time radio program on ESPN 97.5.
In Texas, we know fortune favors the bold and those who live large. Introducing the all-new Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn with premium leather, real barnwood accents, and the only 12-inch touchscreen media center in a truck. Because even in a state this big, we're always on to something bigger. Ram, built to serve. When properly equipped. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's hottest new Saturday morning cruise in. Tailpipes and Tacos welcomes all specialty cars and trucks from Mile to Wild every third Saturday of the month. Shine it up, turn it on, and head on over to Loopy Tortilla on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland, just 2 minutes south of I-10 and Katy. Fresh Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos, killer coffee, and a fun time together for a fabulous Saturday morning cruise in 8 to 11. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland, just south of I-10.
It's Houston's #1 car show in Wheel Time on ESPN 97.5. Thanks for riding with us today. Kind of fitting that we have this guy on the line with us now because we've got Houston Diesels, a over 4,000 strong diesel club spokesperson, president here in the studio with us. So on the line with us is Mike Koval. He's the director of U.S. Ram Marketing. Mike, a good Saturday afternoon to you.
Same to you, and thanks for having me.
Hey, what's the temperature up there?
Not warm enough.
Well, I have to tell you this.
I think we skipped a season.
Yeah, it went right from hot to cold, didn't it?
Honest to goodness, I think it was we were in the 30s last night, guys.
Yeah, well, we were close. We were, I think, at about 50-something, which is icy for us, but at any rate. Well, it's good to talk to you, and thanks so much for taking any time out of your Saturday to join us. And it's fitting, as I said, that we've got the head of Houston Diesels in the house with us today. And so let's talk just a moment, if we can, about the new Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. Now, is this a new engine for you guys?
Yes, it is. It is actually the third generation EcoDiesel. It is all new, and we're excited to bring it back into the marketplace. It actually will start rolling into dealership lots here during the fourth quarter of this year. But we were the first to bring it into the market, if you remember, way back in 2014. But yep, this is third generation, all new.
Wow, way back in 2014. Yes, I do, because it was like, oh, wow, somebody's putting a diesel in a 1500. Why didn't we think of that?
Yeah. Well, exactly. It really, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that this past Friday, the 4th of October, was actually our 10-year anniversary since the Ram brand became a standalone brand, really with its own DNA. And it's that kind of innovation we feel that's really given us success over the last few years.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and you guys are really good at that diesel technology. So what about diesel demand? I mean, is it still up there where it needs to be, or is it fallen off? Where does it stand now?
No, that's an interesting question. We absolutely believe that there is a future for diesel powertrains in the U.S., and frankly, we think it's a foundational powertrain, not only here in the U.S., but across America. And, frankly, for me, it's underscored by the fact that our competition has recently brought into the market their own variants. But again, we're proud of our innovation like we were the leaders in this space. But yeah, we absolutely believe there's a future for it for sure.
What kind of transmission are you coupling with that diesel?
That's the 6-speed.
The 6-speed, yeah. And you selected that as opposed to an 8-speed or a 10-speed because this is really about grunt, isn't it?
It is. And honestly, with the third generation, we've been able to achieve not only the most powerful half-ton diesel, delivering more than 480 pound-feet of torque, but now it's also the most capable, 12,560 pound-feet of towing. So,
wow.
We feel we've got the best combination of power, of capability, and now the fuel efficiency to go along with it.
Well, Mike, I have to tell you that, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up, is that interior in those Ram pickup trucks, I swear, it is more amazing every year. And I just got finished driving one here not too long ago, and with that great big 1 foot of screen sitting in the middle of that dashboard, the leather that you choose. I mean, and I'm not trying to sell the truck here. Well, I guess I am kind of, but I'm here to tell you, as a huge fan, that interior is to die for.
Well, thank you for saying so. And, I'm fortunate because I get to sell the product, but wow, the engineers, the designers, I feel like we've listened. We've been with our truck owners. We've listened to what they've wanted. And, it's interesting. We're seeing so much market activity and folks leaving the mid-size car segment, for example, and coming into trucks. It's no longer taboo to have a full-size truck as a family vehicle. And we feel Ram has delivered on that. And again, here's another example of innovation with this 12-inch touchscreen. I mean, class exclusive, just an absolute game changer for us. And now you're perfectly comfortable hauling your family or your crew around in style and in comfort.
Well, I have to tell you that, I went to lunch one day when I had the truck and took 3 or 4 of the guys with me, and they got in it, and their jaws were on the ground. Oh, my God, look at that touchscreen. And I said, well, look what that touchscreen can do, because that Uconnect system is so easy to use, so user-friendly, and it works so well.
Well, and that's, we think, that one of the biggest attributes, and you got to make it intuitive. You want to make it easy to use, easy to understand, but to carry with it all the functionality and the capability, and frankly, what people look for these days. I mean, they want that flexibility. They want to be able to use their own devices and interface with, the truck itself. And there's just so many wonderful things it can do. It's just quite remarkable, and we think that's why it's bringing so many new buyers into the brand, into the Ram brand.
Is the 2020 out at dealers yet?
Yes, they're just starting to roll in to the dealerships now, and we're excited not only about the EcoDiesel variant, but some new appearance packages as well to market. And boy, I think that what you drive is an extension of your personality. And with the Rebel and Limited Black, the night editions, when just the throttle note when you start the truck up, it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. So. We're not resting on our laurels. It's been a great year, but we're excited about 2020.
Well, I know that the diesel is a big deal for you guys, as well as it should be, but I have to tell you, let's not forget that there's this thing out there called a Hemi V8.
Everyone loves a Hemi.
And who doesn't like the Hemi? I had an opportunity to take an extended road trip in that Ram Rebel that had the airbag technology on it, and it was red, and it was in your face. The thing rode like a limousine, and that V8 got great gas mileage on the road. And it just brought everything together for a non-truck guy. I mean, I've never owned a truck myself, but man, I'll tell you what, that makes me want to own one.
Yeah, it's the packages have really come together nicely. And the Rebel, boy, here's a vehicle that has all the off-road chops that you could ever want. We know what it's capable of doing. For the first time ever, we're offering the EcoDiesel variant in the Rebel, which, frankly, our customers have been asking for some time, and we're just so thrilled to bring that into the marketplace. But I have to tell you, on a recent road test in August with some journalists, they had to pinch themselves. They could not believe there was actually a diesel engine in there.
Yeah.
So it's just a quiet, comfortable ride, but all of that torque and towing that we talked about, and now the fuel efficiency to go along with it. Boy, we think it's going to be a winner in the marketplace.
So did you break out the sweaters when you got up the other morning for the first time, in a long time?
Well, I've got to find them somewhere. I forgot where I put them.
So it's short sleeves and freezing to death.
Yeah, for now anyway. But
Mike,
we'll be okay.
Mike, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your Saturday to talk to us.
Have a great afternoon. If I would just say for more information for all of your listeners, please visit ramtrucks.com and have some great photos there and learn all you need to know.
And it just so happens that we have a link on our website and our Facebook page, so there.
Well,
Mike,
fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Koval, Director, U.S. Ram Marketing, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day, guys. Take care.
You used to do the same. Thank you. All right. We've got more, including our headlines, coming up next here on the In Wheel Time radio program on ESPN 97.5.
At Jeep Adventure Days, you'll be ready to take on any forecast. As others seek shelter, you'll sprint toward adventure in the remarkably efficient Jeep Cherokee and the luxurious Grand Cherokee, or in a Jeep Compass with over 70 standard and available safety and security features. Or get up close and personal with the elements thanks to the open-air freedom of Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Gladiator. Hurry in to Jeep Adventure Days for great deals on the most legendary SUV lineup. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Whether you're in the market for your first new vehicle,
Oh, that one's adorable.
a solid certified pre-owned, or you really want to make the most of your so-called middle-aged crisis, you've got to know where to go to find the car of your dreams. And that's HoustonCarDealers.com. Brought to you by the Houston Auto Dealers Association, HoustonCarDealers.com gives you a complete list of local dealerships. Plus, you can learn about the great things local dealers do for our community, like the Motorist Assistance Program and Student Technician Training. Check it out today, HoustonCarDealers.com.
In Texas, we know fortune favors the bold and those who live large. Introducing the all-new Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn. With premium leather, real barnwood accents, and the only 12-inch touchscreen media center in a truck. Because even in a state this big, we're always on to something bigger. Ram, built to serve. When properly equipped. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
We can just let that play and forget the rest of the show, if that's okay with you. Welcome back to the In Wheel Time radio program here on ESPN 97.5. Our show's kind of jumbled up today because we've got this football game coming up at 1:30. So we kind of moved things around and jumbled things up. But in the meantime and in between time, Conrad has the events calendar.
Well, the big thing I'm going to go to tonight is going to be at their Klein Forest High School, and it's a car show and a fundraiser for their automotive department, and I ask everybody else to get out there and support it. Next weekend, we're going to be doing another live remote at Tailpipes and Tacos at Lupe Tortillas on the Grand Parkway, and that's from 8 to 11. We're going to do the show between 8:30 and 10:30 live on Facebook, and then we'll broadcast it again at
and on YouTube.
And YouTube, and then noon to 2. The Texas Mile is next weekend, and that's down at the Victoria Regional Airport. We're talking to one of the Porsche owners that's planning on resetting the half-mile record while he's there. Randy Weldon and the Northside Mustang Car Club, they're having their fall open car show this next weekend at the 2920 Roadhouse in Hockley, Texas. And then a shout out to Philip Hurlston and the Lamborghini Festival, which is going to be at City Center tomorrow. And they are going to have, if you want to go see just the beauty of Italian exotic cars, you have to go to City Center tomorrow and check this out, the Lamborghini Festival. They're going to have Valentino Balboni there, who is the test driver from Lamborghini from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. He literally drove every Lamborghini that they ever built through that generation of cars.
Will he be wearing his Ferragamo shoes?
I'm sure he would be wearing anything he wants. I have a feeling that man in the Lamborghini world walks on water.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I can't imagine a test driver for a Lamborghini. Darn, I hated that job. Thank you, sir. Time now for the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Of course, UAW is on strike against General Motors. That's continuing. UAW responded late last night to GM's contract proposals from Monday after a day in which the two sides criticized each other for not moving quickly enough to resolve their impasse. You did it. No, I didn't do it. You did it. That kind of thing. UAW's response came 26 days into its national strike against GM. There was no response from GM by late Friday evening.
And dealers are running out of parts, and cars are being parked that are going in for warranty repairs because there's no part availability. It's
a mess.
Starting to get ugly. It's about to get real ugly.
I don't want to bog you down in all this, but now they're talking about could be November before they get this done.
I went through a 40-plus day strike back in the 90s, which was ugly. This is going to be that ugly.
Moody's rating service said in a Friday report that GM must maintain its flexibility under any new deal to build electric and self-driving vehicles without its fixed costs rising further. It said GM's annual costs in wages and benefits are more than $1 billion higher than foreign automakers operating U.S. plants. That ain't good. Okay, here you go. Speaking of electric vehicles and all that, get our news from Automotive News. Gas station in Maryland has become the first in the country to replace its pumps with electric vehicle chargers. The owner, Depeswar Doli, made the change with the help of a $786,000 grant from the Electric Vehicle Institute and Maryland Energy Administration. The 200-kilowatt system has 4 chargers capable of getting vehicles to an 80% charge in 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, he's putting 440 in it, yeah.
An automated convenience store is outfitted with screens to track charging progress.
And I'm sure that's how they charge you to charge your car.
Is that a 446
Sit at a gas station for 30 minutes while my car charges.
A 446 pack.
Notice it's in Maryland because it was in Northern California. You can't charge your car because they turn the electricity off in that state.
We got back with more of our broadcast here for a 60-second break. You're listening to the In Wheel Time radio program on ESPN 97.5.
In Texas, we know fortune favors the bold and those who live large. Introducing the all-new Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn with premium leather, real barnwood accents, and the only 12-inch touchscreen media center in a truck. Because even in a state this big, we're always on to something bigger. Ram, built to serve. When properly equipped. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
911, what's your emergency?
God, there's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would he do that? The train still hasn't stopped. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Racing season is winding down, and you'll want to catch all the action Saturday, October 19th at Houston Motorsports Park. The Texas Short Track Racing Series includes Pro Truck, Pro Modifieds, Outlaws, Super Stocks, NASCARs, Eco Stocks, Dwarfs, and Allison Legacies. Never has there been so much racing action on the super fast 3/8-mile asphalt track. Here's a way to get the kids off their phones. Hot dogs, snow cones, and face painting will get them ready for Halloween. Race night at Houston Motorsports Park on North Lake Houston Parkway. Saturday, October 19th, starting at 6 p.m. Buy the whole seat, but you'll only use the edge.
Listen to your favorite shows on the ESPN 97.5 app. Just search ESPN Houston in your app store.
Oh, hey!
KFNC Mont Bellevue, Houston.
I got it!
It's hour number 2 of Houston's #1 weekly award-winning car talk show, In Wheel Time, live on ESPN 97.5. Today's in-studio guest, Wade Julian, with Houston Diesels. In the new car showroom this half hour, we'll have the Jaguar F-Pace. Am I correct, Morris?
That is correct.
Okay, just want to make sure because I never know these days. And we're going to talk to Rod Romaine, chief engineer of the Ram 1500. I can't even imagine being a chief engineer of a vehicle. All of the people that are involved in building any kind of a vehicle. You know? The suspension guy, engine guy, the interior guy, the body person.
Not a guy, a team. An engine team.
But he's the head guy that has to lead the team.
Everything funnels through him, but he surrounds himself with good people.
Today's show is presented
Saturday
by
night.
Jeep. Hurry in today for great deals during the Jeep Adventure Day sales event and by the Ram 1500, built for a world that demands more. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, and King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Our show is short today. We're going to cram a 1-hour show of In Wheel Time into a 30-minute bag so we can make way for the Alabama Crimson Tide football game beginning at 1:30 today. Just wanted to mention that. So I've got to kind of stay on time this half hour so I can meet the network. Does that make sense? Technical stuff, but
Meet the Network. Is that a new TV series?
yeah, it's kind of like Meet the Armstrongs or whoever. At any rate. So Wade Jillian is with us. He's with Houston Diesels, a 4,000-plus member club. And we talked the last hour about the fact that it's not just diesel trucks, it's diesel cars and anything else that you can stick a diesel in. And, you know, diesel engines can be as small as, I guess, a single cylinder. But yes.
A thumper.
A thumper. Pump, 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 pump. Yes, one of those. My dad worked for a company called Waukesha Motor Company, and they were known for their diesel engines. Mm-hmm. They were industrial engines. And you think today, you know, industrial engines, what would you do with those? Well, you'd be surprised what kind of reciprocating engines are out there in the diesel world that aren't General Motors or Ford or Chrysler or whatever. Yeah, so there's that. So Wade Jillian, one thing that we haven't talked about, which is dear and close to my heart, are showpieces. Now, I truly appreciate trucks, for the most part, that are show trucks with all the bling and the chrome and, you know, either raised or lowered or whatever the case may be.
Or both.
But I like those kind of trucks that can go to a cruise in, wow everybody, because of all the work that you've done to them. Maybe some chrome, maybe some paint, maybe some tires, maybe some wheels, whatever it is. Because there's so many different levels of showing anything that I would imagine that you've probably got everything in the world in the club that's available to be out there.
Just about.
Yeah, just about. So yours I would consider, well, at least from the outside of it. I mean, I haven't looked under the hood. I didn't look at the interior. I just saw the outside of it. But it's got nice graphics on there. I guess that you've got some sort of clothing line that you're hawking or something.
I've got personal sponsors for my truck.
Of course he does. He's got personal sponsors for his truck. He has that. Yeah. Let me just repeat that. He has personal sponsors.
And he'd sure like to give him a shout out before the day's over.
I'm sure he would. So, you know, where do you go to get graphics done?
We have a company that we use that's in New Waverly.
Okay.
That they do all our club stuff for us. So
what's their name?
C4 Graphics. It's owned by Chad Ishii.
So you got, obviously you've figured out that, you know, you can make some money by putting some graphics on the side of your truck.
I don't make any money off of that.
No money off of that. Somebody does.
That's the companies that their names that are on my truck. I mean, I'm sure they make money off of it off the advertisement of it.
But see, that's what I'm saying. So you've managed to think, okay,
promote those companies. Correct. By putting them on the graphics on your truck. Because they do good things for your club, they do good things for you, but they also, you're kind of putting your reputation on the line for them. So I would imagine they're pretty quality organizations as well.
Yes, sir.
So, what about, let's talk about tires and wheels. I always like to talk about tires and wheels. I saw a truck yesterday that, I'll be frank with you, it looked silly going down the road. It looked silly. Because the wheels were outside. All of the wheels were outside of the wheel wells on a truck. Now, maybe it's just me, but what would be the purpose other than having the wheels outside of the fenders of anything? What purpose would that serve?
Did it get your attention?
Yes.
Then it served its purpose. It's all about the show. It's all about the look.
Attract your attention.
It turns your head. They got what they wanted.
I guess so.
You looked at their whole truck.
No. All I saw were those wheels hanging outside the wheel wells on wheels that were clearly way too wide for the tires. Because
where the rim
stretched.
extends out. Yeah. I don't like that because there is no room for error.
No.
You touch a curb, you're going to tear a wheel up.
Yeah.
If not flatten
it didn't make any sense to me. And listen, and it was our friend up at Texas Truck Works that said, well, it's not too bad to have a little bit of that tire hanging out off that wheel, off that wheel well. Okay. And I have come to somewhat appreciate that in certain occasions when it's done right. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can paint a car. Anybody. I can go out there today with rattle cans and paint a car. Right?
Yeah, but you can't do it like Randy does at Paint House. Did you see that 63 Corvette he posted?
Oh, my God.
Was that beautiful?
Unbelievable. But, you know, it took him a year just to prep the body to paint it. But, you know, when it comes to tires and wheels, you got to give it a little bit of thought.
I saw a car, just like you're talking about, some time ago. My first real time I saw that, where the offset on the wheels put all the rubber outside of the wheel wells.
Yeah.
And I thought, same thing, that's kind of weird looking. But if you ever see it going down a wet road in the rain and you see this big water spray all for them, it's pretty cool looking.
I remember what was that show that all I can think of is the term sippy holes. And they raced.
Wide World of Sports.
Yes,
they raced
that
in
mud
Florida.
Hole
In
Florida,
swap racing.
Swap racing. Whatever happened to that? What a cool thing that was.
Drowned, but they did have sippy holes that they would go through.
Yeah, and they have humongous, massive tires.
Rooster tails.
With
big tractor tires.
Basically, they were paddles made out of rubber.
Because at some point, if you had enough power, you could literally get the tire to plane up on the water and go, as opposed to the tire gripping the ground underneath.
So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get sidetracked with you. But Squirrel. That's it. So my question is wheels. And we were talking about thousands and thousands of dollars in wheels alone. And I guess that you can have, wheels made to your liking, carved out of chunks of aluminum or magnesium or whatever it is that
aluminum
they usually
billet.
do. Yeah, aluminum billet. And you can pay out the wazoo, whatever the wazoo is, and have custom wheels for your truck. Because I know that I saw quite a few of them up there at the Lone Star Throwdown up in Conroe. Which, by the way, I saw that registration is now open for that.
Yeah, they just posted that this week.
Lonnie and
Todd. That's for booth space and sponsorships.
Okay, so it's not open yet for entries.
No, that might. I'm sorry, it might be also.
I think
open
it is.
Entries.
I think entries are open too.
So at any rate, I saw some pretty custom stuff up there. You ever go to that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you were there.
Yes, sir. We'll have a booth there this year.
Really?
Yes, sir.
You should. I was going to say because that's your cup of tea.
And they'll have 4,300 people hanging out in that booth.
I don't know about that.
No, they'll all be over it going,
it's going to be a big
hey,
booth.
Those are those guys that Wade was on. That show that Wade was on, there they are. Oh, God.
So will you also have at your booth at Lone Star Throwdown, will you have vehicles there, or is this kind of a hospitality thing
yes,
for the
sir.
club?
So we did a club vote for the most voted truck to be in our booth. So there's going to be one truck in our booth that's going to be sponsored for the whole weekend.
Do we have the name of the owner and the truck?
Colt Hadley.
Yeah.
He owns a OBS, 4-door long bed, 4-wheel drive. It's got some nice big rims and tires.
What's
on
an
it.
OBS?
Old body style Ford.
Okay.
We're into that. We like that.
I don't know what year it is. I want to say it's probably in 97.
So a tow pig and an OBS. I'm learning things today.
And what is it?
It's about a 97 model.
That's old?
Old body style. So
let me think.
Don's almost 97.
Yeah, I was going to say. So now it's Don OBS Armstrong.
He's completely rebuilt the truck himself. It's amazing.
The tow pig. Yeah. All right. Well,
we've lost control.
We have. But, that's kind of like sitting around drinking some beers on Saturday night in the garage talking about trucks.
It's what makes it fun.
It does make it fun.
How cool is that to get that old of a truck and the club recognize the time and effort he spent in building it?
And he's done 90% of it himself in his shop.
Really?
I'm basically a full frame off to an extent. He's sent off his suspension for powder coating and custom colors that changes colors. I mean, he's got...
It changes colors?
Yes, sir. I can show you
Flip-flop.
a video. But it's got big rims and tires on it like you're talking about, but it's tasteful. it's just a good looking truck, and and it looks stock besides the lift and rims and stuff.
Right.
It doesn't have a crazy paint job on it or anything, and
Other than it changes colors.
suspension. But it's a very nice truck.
Does he ever say how much money he's got in it?
A lot.
A lot. What is it about?
Much more than he tells his wife.
If I spent $40,000 on fixing up a truck, I'm going to tell you I've spent $40,000 on it. Like the Corvette. My God. That was $35,000 any way you look at it.
Oh, yeah.
$35,000. And I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't.
It was still a beautiful car.
It worked out okay.
But he's driving a 7.3, which is kind of the old school. That was the one of the motors of choice.
What's a 7.3?
7.3 Ford Power Stroke.
Okay.
Kind of one of their earlier diesels.
You have to drag me along.
Like the 12-valve Cummins. Those are
Don's OBS.
OBS. Old BS.
That'll work too. By the way, before we run out of time today, and we've got to take a break, there's a movie that I found out about through my now expiring Auto Week subscription called Blink of an Eye. Documentary examines the 2001 Daytona 500 and how it changed an entire sport. Of course, that's the race that Dale Earnhardt was killed. So that's called Blink of an Eye. There's another movie that I found when I was doing the research on this one called Rapid Response that I think is pretty fascinating too. So you can look that up and check that out.
And Ford versus Ferrari is about to be released.
Yeah, so car movies for car guys. Coming up next, we review the Jaguar F-Pace in the In Wheel Time New Car Showroom. Be sure and stay in touch with us all week long by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and through InWheelTime.com. Thanks for joining us here on ESPN 97.5.
In Texas, we know fortune favors the bold and those who live large. Introducing the all-new Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn. With premium leather, real barnwood accents, and the only 12-inch touchscreen media center in a truck. Because even in a state this big, we're always on to something bigger. Ram, built to serve. When properly equipped. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
911, what's your emergency?
God, there's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would he do that? The train still hasn't stopped. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Racing season is winding down, and you'll want to catch all the action Saturday, October 19th at Houston Motorsports Park. The Texas Short Track Racing Series includes Pro Truck, Pro Modifieds, Outlaw Super Stocks, NASCARs, Eco Stocks, Dwarfs, and Allison Legacies. Never has there been so much racing action on the super fast 3/8-mile asphalt track. Here's a way to get the kids off their phones. Hot dogs, snow cones, and face painting will get them ready for Halloween. Race night at Houston Motorsports Park on North Lake Houston Parkway. Saturday, October 19th, starting at 6 p.m. Buy the whole seat, but you'll only use the edge.
This is In Wheel Time, Houston's most in-depth radio car show, here on ESPN 97.5, streaming now on Facebook, YouTube, and the ESPN 97.5 mobile app. Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars takes a look at the Jaguar F-Pace.
Yeah, buddy. I have to tell you, this was a real unique vehicle for me because I have never had the Jaguar before to actually do a week review on it. I've driven them a couple of times at some events, but so I was really excited about getting this vehicle. And what we're talking about is a compact crossover SUV. And Jag considers this a premium. They don't really register it as a luxury, but as a premium compact crossover SUV, you can actually get it in 4 different trim levels. And we had the SVR all-wheel drive model. Yeah, buddy. And it's got some very nice streamlined styling. It's got an extensive use. It's almost an all-bodied. The aluminum is almost the whole body. So it's kind of lightweight, but it's got some really nice lines to it. It's got the SVR body kit. So it's got things like the active LED lighting for the headlights. It's even got washers on the headlights to, get going fast enough, I guess. Rain-sensing wipers, auto-dimming, power folding side mirrors with memory that are heated. It's got a lot of features on it that, because of that English heritage to it. So it's got a power tailgate, panoramic sunroof. We were rolling on some 22-inch spoke wheels. These are some really nice.
That was a good-looking
wheels.
truck. You had it at Woody's.
Yeah, buddy, it was nice. And on the inside, we had it on quilted Windsor leather seating. Now, the front seats are heated. They're a performance-type seat, so they got a little bit of wraparound with the bolsters on them. The rear seats are also heated. They're split-folding rear seats. We had the 10-inch touchscreen up front so that we could handle the Jaguar calls their infotainment system the In-Control Touch Pro, something Don can relate to. And that's where you're going to find all your rear view camera, your nav, all these things. We also had the 17-speaker Meridian 825-watt audio system.
17 speakers.
And now this thing, it is a compact, but it does have 33.5 cubic feet of space behind the second row. There is no third row. They kept it out.
Thank goodness.
And you can fold that down to get 63.5 cubic feet. Now, there are 3 engines that you can get in an F-Pace vehicle. It starts out with a 2.0 turbocharged liter. You can get a 3.0 supercharged that's got 380 horsepower. We had the 5.0 liter supercharged V8. 550 horsepower in this baby. 502 pound-feet of torque with an 8-speed automatic.
And the on-ramp acceleration
Oh, my
test
gosh.
is go to jail fast.
It is go to jail fast. I tell you, it's got a really nice rumble to it. You know there's a little performance there. But when you step off into this thing, it is a totally different vehicle. It comes alive. I'm telling you, it's amazing to me at what it does. It'll push you back in the seat, and it'll get it.
Even fully loaded the way you had it at Woody's.
I'm just telling you. EPA says you should be looking for 16 miles to the gallon in the city, which I never even got close to that. Out on the Highway 21, combined 18. My week, I did get 17 out of it because, like I said, we were on the highway quite a bit, even loaded. But like I say, there is some god-awful acceleration in this thing, and it sounds great whenever you do that. As far as ride and handling, nice ride out on the road, particularly loaded. Got a nice raised driving position. If you're looking for something to compare it to, you might look at the Audi Q5. It's going to start at about $42,950 and go up. BMW X3 starts at $41,000 and goes up. And the Jaguar F-Pace, you can actually get a real F-Pace for $44,800 and start from up there. The base SVR package starts at $79,990.
And yours was?
MSRP as tested, $90,200. And a god-awful acceleration and exhaust. I'm just telling you, it's worth that right there.
A hot rod SUV.
I'm telling you.
It's In Wheel Time, Houston's most popular car talk show here on ESPN 97.5. Back after this quick break.
At Jeep Adventure Days, you'll be ready to take on any forecast. As others seek shelter, you'll sprint toward adventure in the remarkably efficient Jeep Cherokee and the luxurious Grand Cherokee, or in a Jeep Compass with over 70 standard and available safety and security features. Or get up close and personal with the elements thanks to the open-air freedom of Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Gladiator. Hurry in to Jeep Adventure Days for great deals on the most legendary SUV lineup. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Look out in the street there. You know what you don't see? My car, because I had to sell it to pay the lawyer I hired when I got busted for drunk driving. Know what else you don't see? My girlfriend, who decided that a guy with no car and no license and no money was no fun.
Cops are out there cracking down on drunk driving all across the country, and they'll see you before you see them. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's hottest new Saturday morning cruise in. Tailpipes and Tacos welcomes all specialty cars and trucks from Mile to Wild every third Saturday of the month. Shine it up, turn it on, and head on over to Loopy Tortilla on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland, just 2 minutes south of I-10 and Katy. Fresh Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos, killer coffee, and a fun time together for a fabulous Saturday morning cruise in 8 to 11. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland, just south of I-10.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time radio program here on ESPN 97.5. And a reminder that we join Alabama A&M football at the bottom of the hour, and it will be the pregame show.
And we want to invite all of the A&M and Alabama fans that are tuning in a little bit early for the show to come listen to us every Saturday from noon to 2.
Yeah. And next week will be taped noon to 2. And so that's because we're going to be at Tailpipes and Tacos, and we'll be out there live in
8:30.
person from 8:30 in the morning until 10:30 in the morning. So keep all that in mind.
Loopy Tortillas on the Grand Parkway.
At I-10, well, Kingsland Boulevard. Yeah, and it's a cruise-in, Saturday morning cruise-in. Bring the trucks. Bring the trucks if you're out.
It's a great show.
It
It's a lot of
truly
fun.
is. And there's everything that you can imagine under the sun. Race cars, limousines.
Lifted trucks, lowered trucks. You remember that Suburban? What was that? Like a early 60s Suburban that one time. That was beautiful.
Well, yes. So all that's there and more. So it's a great cruise in. A couple of stories I wanted to pass along to you. Porsche and U.S. plane maker Boeing are working to develop a concept electric flying vehicle capable of transporting people in urban settings. Porsche and other automakers are aiming to build flying cars that can be used as taxis for ride-sharing purposes. As part of the deal, Boeing and Porsche will analyze the market potential for premium aerial vehicles and their possible use in highly populated cities, the company said in a news release. Of course they did. Developing a concept for a fully electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicle, kind of like a helicopter. You want to see it?
Jetsons.
The Jets, that's right.
It's kind of like the Jetsons.
I don't know. Boeing laid an egg, the last new thing they released.
Yeah, you think? 2018 study by Porsche Consulting forecasts that the urban air mobility market will pick up speed after 2025, no pun intended. Let me run through this here real quick and make sure that I'm not going to miss a story that I really. Oh, this one here.
As Don shuffles through the paper looking for the one he wants to talk about.
I'm editing on the go here. Drivers in the U.S. may one day no longer have to crane their necks to check their blind spots if regulators agree to let high-tech cameras and screens replace the humble side view mirror. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said in a notice on Wednesday that it is seeking public and industry input on whether to allow so-called camera monitoring systems to replace rear and side view mirrors mandated by a long-standing U.S. auto safety standard. Mirrorless cars, or vehicles that drop old-school glass mirrors in favor of video screens, have long been proposed by stylists and engineers wanting sleeker looks and improved safety. They can also help improve a vehicle's fuel efficiency because the camera setups have lower wind resistance.
I'm driving one that's got that now. The side mirror is still there, but it's got the video screen in it. But it only comes on if you turn the turn signal on. If you're just changing lanes without the turn
So
signal,
you can't just check?
Yeah. And this is no secret. UAW strike of General Motors will push back the launch of the automaker's long-anticipated mid-engine Chevrolet Corvette and will delay a number of high-margin SUVs, according to LMC Automotive. Forecasting firm said Wednesday that the next-generation Corvette, originally expected to begin production at GM's Bowling Green assembly plant in Kentucky in early December, will be delayed at least 2 to 3 weeks, with the potential to be pushed back into 2020 the longer the work stoppage persists.
So will it be released as a 2021? Because it won't be until after the first of the year. So there's another year gap in Corvettes.
That's a good question.
They've done that before.
Yeah. So who knows? All right, we need to take another quick break so we can stay on time here. And we are going to take a quick break on the In Wheel Time radio program on ESPN 97.5.
In Texas, we know fortune favors the bold and those who live large. Introducing the all-new Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn. With premium leather, real barnwood accents, and the only 12-inch touchscreen media center in a truck. Because even in a state this big, we're always on to something bigger. Ram, built to serve. When properly equipped. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Whether you're in the market for your first new vehicle,
Oh, that one's adorable.
a solid certified pre-owned, or you really want to make the most of your so-called middle-aged crisis, you've got to know where to go to find the car of your dreams. And that's HoustonCarDealers.com. Brought to you by the Houston Auto Dealers Association, HoustonCarDealers.com gives you a complete list of local dealerships. Plus, you can learn about the great things local dealers do for our community, like the Motorist Assistance Program and Student Technician Training. Check it out today, HoustonCarDealers.com.
At Jeep Adventure Days, you'll be ready to take on any forecast. As others seek shelter, you'll sprint toward adventure in the remarkably efficient Jeep Cherokee and the luxurious Grand Cherokee, or in a Jeep Compass with over 70 standard and available safety and security features. Or get up close and personal with the elements thanks to the open-air freedom of Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Gladiator. Hurry in to Jeep Adventure Days for great deals on the most legendary SUV lineup. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming in. It really is a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I hope that we get to run into you. Probably. Well, you need to come to the dang Loopy Tortilla deal next weekend. You're not doing anything.
I work 3 jobs, so
like I said, you're not doing anything. So come on out to Loopy's. But it's a real pleasure. Houston Diesels. You got a website, Facebook page?
Yes, sir. HoustonDiesels.org. We're on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, in the walls of the men's room, no doubt.
Gosh,
just that.
I hope not.
Yeah, exactly.
Don's writing it down now.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, gentlemen, it's been a real pleasure, and we're going to make way, as those of you just joined us, maybe, that we've got Alabama and Texas A&M football coming your way.
Big game.
Yeah, big day. Well, that's it for today's In Wheel Time, presented by Jeep and Ram. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features, along with all things automotive. And while you're online, you'll want to sign up for our feeds on Twitter, Instagram, and other important social media sites, too, including YouTube. Our website is inwheeltime.com, and it is there that you can download our show podcast. Thanks to Wade Julian with Houston Diesels again for joining us in the studio today. In the ESPN control room today is Andrew Carlson. Great job, by the way, and thank you very much for being you. The In Wheel Time chief engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Be sure and join us again next Saturday for the next installment of In Wheel Time from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on 99, the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. We are Houston's #1 car talk show, In Wheel Time on ESPN 97.5. For Mike Out of This World Mars and King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. Stay cool like you know you are. A&M and Alabama football coming up next.
IMG College. Texas A&M football is on the air.
Touchdown, Aggies! Wow!
Welcome to the CHI St. Joseph's pregame